All right, Google is the topic of the day. Now, I will tell you guys that Google is far too vast to be able to talk about everything in a 1 hour show. Okay, so I have limited it down to the top 10 Google tricks and tasks and stuff like that that I think could be useful for your business starting immediately. All right, and I'm going to share my screen. We are not live on any of the platforms today. We're just doing it right here on Zoom. Alrighty, so I'm sharing my screen with you. The first thing I want to show you, let me move this out of my way. First thing I want to show you is this is the Google, all of the apps that Google has. Oh, my phone, I have an Android, so every time I say the word Google, it asks me, how can I help you? Because you can voice to talk to Google. All right, so these are all the different apps that you could use on Google. And when I mean apps, I mean programs, software, any of that. You could use them on your computer, on your phone, on your mobile device. As you can see, as I just keep going down, there's so many different apps. So I've chosen 10 of them that we're going to go through today. And the first one is going to be your dashboard in your Google Drive storage. So here where I am now is my drive, as you can see at the top, and this is a storage space that I can put files in here. I could share files with my team, with other people, and I'll show you how to do a few of those things. Down here towards the bottom left, you'll notice I have 2 terabytes of storage. I've only used 118 gigabytes. When you first sign up with Google, I think you get, it might be, I don't remember what it is, but you get so many free gigabytes. It might be 10 gigabytes for free of storage, and then you have to upgrade. What I pay is for this 2 terabytes, I pay, I think it's $3 a month for 2 terabytes. Dwight, your hand is up. Dwight, do you have a question?
He's muted.
Yeah, sorry, I started to talk with my mute.
Oh.
Every time I buy a new phone, I get an option for a free boost in the amount of storage that I have on Google. Okay. Which is good because I've got thousands of pictures. So, you know, that's actually the bulk of my storage in Google is mostly pictures and video. And now my phone's doing the Google thing. So what I do is every time I take the promotion for the free extra, and so I get a little bit more storage every time I get a new phone.
Okay, neat. So that's something I didn't realize. So thanks for sharing that. So when he gets his new Android device, they give him more storage. Now, here's one thing to keep in mind, you guys. For those of you who are Mac users, Apple users, you can still use Google Drive and all this stuff, but it doesn't always play nicely with Apple. So there are some times when people with those devices get frustrations trying to use these apps, depending on what you're using and if it's updated and stuff like that. So just a little piece of caution. If you are using a Windows PC and or an Android device, you will probably likely hardly ever have compatibility issues. Okay, so moving on. And again, if you guys have questions, I can't see you, so just make sure you do what Dwight did and raise your hand, or just unmute yourself and just talk. All right, so the first thing I'm at right here when I'm in my drive is it shows my quick access spot, which is stuff that I've recently opened myself and been using, or the things I use the most. So my Fuse Business Training sheet, it looks blank right there because our first sheet is blank on purpose for when I do things like this. But this is the sheet that my business partner and I use to make sure that we're both, you know, keeping each other accountable and that we're not doing the same things. We use that for tracking and accountability. The second one here is my financials. That's for our family. That's why there's a lot of things on this one blacked out. And then over here is my game plan for my curriculum. So my roadmap curriculum is so big that we couldn't put it, like we could have technically put it in this one, but it just would have confused the whole thing. So we created our own spreadsheet for that one. As you can see, you could have folders here. And like if you click inside one of the folders, It will open up if you have more folders or documents. So whatever you have is going to be in here and organized the way that you have it organized. If you come back over here to the left and go to shared with me, these are the things that other people have shared with you. So they're in these people's Google Drives and they've shared this with you. So it's also in your Google Drive, but it's also here in shared with me file for easy reference to find. So this is stuff people have shared with you. Your next one is similar to the quick access, but it shows more of your recent documents. It even shows things that you have just opened or anything like that. The quick access one shows more of the things that you've made changes in. The recent ones shows things that you've recently opened and stuff like that. Okay. And then if you go to your starred ones, I like using the starred option because this gives me quick access for like every morning if I need to track things or whatever things I want to do. I like to be able to come right here into start and click on each one of these to go. So like this one is my client hour tracking sheet. So when I'm working for a client, this is easy to find. It's on the start area. I click it. Same thing with event listings. That helps me keep track of the events that I'm doing and the people who are attending and all that good stuff. So obviously trash is trash. And so that is your Google Drive area. Does anybody have questions on Drive or storage? Okay, I don't hear anybody, so I'm guessing not. So the next thing we're going to do, and to get to Google Drive, you just type in drive.google.com, and that will bring you to your Google Drive. And if you have a Google account like Gmail or YouTube or any of that, you do already have access to Google Drive, even if you've never used it. It's all included in your Google
And
account.
you can also get to Drive by when you have an Android phone, the little bubble that has all your Google apps in it. There's a little triangle there with the green, yellow, blue triangle, and you can also find that from your home screen up near your little picture in the top right corner, the little grid. You click on that grid and that'll bring you to that same little triangle, so you can find Google Drive in any one of those three places.
Right, and so over here in the left corner, that's the logo that Dwight was talking about if you go into your apps on your phone. And then we're going to use the grid to go to the next area so you guys will be able to see what he was talking about there. So here in this little grid next to your picture, this is an easy way to get to a lot of these apps. And then of course you could click more from Google to see even more. But these are some of the top apps. And the next one that we're going to go into is Google Docs, but I'm going to show that to you over here because, let me move this down here. Over here on the left-hand side, I can click on New, and I can add a folder here. I can upload a folder or a file. I could also create new docs, sheets, or slides. So I'm going to go through each of these. The first one, Google Docs, is very similar to Microsoft Word. The only thing that I dislike about Google Docs and Sheets and stuff like that is that it has a limited, well, it has a lot of fonts, but it doesn't utilize the ones that I use for my business. And I have not yet found a way to be able to upload my own fonts into Google yet. So if anybody does know that, let me know. But
you upload the crazy text from Yay Text and the emojis from the other website that you turned us on to?
You might be able to, but I don't know if they would stay formatted that way. Let's actually give that a try. I've never actually
have you tried free fonts?
What's that?
Free fonts. Try free fonts. Not right now, but when you get a chance.
In Google?
Yeah.
Oh.
Where is it?
Dwight, it doesn't look like I could. Oh, it does.
You gotta Google it. Oh, free fonts.
So there, it's but the thing is, Rick, what I'm saying is I have fonts that I want to install in Google.
Okay.
And I haven't been able to find a way to install my own fonts into Google. Do you know if Free Fonts does that?
I don't know.
Okay. All right. I'll check it out though. Thank you. So yeah, Dwight, to answer your question, yes, you can put those yay text stuff in here. So you guys will notice that this is very similar to Microsoft Word. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles that Microsoft Word has, but this is free, right? And as you guys know, Microsoft Word is not. I mean, it is inexpensive these days, but it's just not free. Google Docs is. And Google Docs saves everything automatically for you about every 2 or 3 seconds. So if you've ever had a moment like me where you forgot to save something and then the computer crashed or something and everything was gone, this is a good way to not have that happen. You can use Google apps and docs and stuff like that offline. So one thing that people a lot of times are fearful of is that this is an online program, and so they think you have to have the internet to use it. You don't actually need the internet to use it, but it does need the internet to update. So if it does save for you automatically and you go on a different computer, you may not see the updates on that one if the computer you were working on didn't have access to the internet at the time. So it needs the internet to make saves, but it does not need the internet to be used. Let's see, it looks like I have a chat.
I just Google it, and that's how you add your Google fonts to your Google Docs.
Okay,
So
got it.
Copy and paste that. You can use it later.
Perfect. Thank you, Rick. In fact, I'm going to copy it right here and put it right in here. Oh, wait, I didn't do that, did I? All right, let's see. Oh, it's not even going to let me. Okay, I'll copy and paste that later. No worries. Okay, so now that you guys, you see that Google Docs is very similar to Microsoft Word. So that will probably make you feel comfortable that Google Sheets is very similar to Microsoft Excel. Again, you don't get all the bells and whistles as Excel, but you get a lot of them. As you can see from the toolbar up top, it's loading right now, but you'll notice it looks very similar to an Excel document. All of these things you are able to share with somebody if you want. So you can click on share, and then you can tell Google who to share it with, whether that's a specific person or just getting a link. Oh, it wants me to name it first, so I'll just put test. And so what I could do is I could put a specific person in here. So I could say like Rick, I could put Rick Gosser, right? And then I can choose if Rick can edit it, or if he can only comment on it, or if he can only view it. And then I could choose whether or not I want to notify Rick that he got that. If this box is checked, which it typically should be, the person will get an email that says, hey, Barbara's invited you to this folder. And then that person can view it. Now, another thing I could do is I could click up here where it says get shareable link. And then I can copy this link and share it with anybody I want. So for instance, I could create you guys could put your irresistible free offers in here. The things that people are giving you your email address for your, on your website, right? They're giving you their email address and you're giving them something free. You could create this free thing either in Docs or Sheets, and then you just share this link in their email as the thank you email that says, hey, thank you, here, click this link to be able to view and download your free PDF, right? This is a very nice, easy way to be able to offer people access.
Hey, Barbara.
Yes.
You get 15 gigabytes free when you get your account.
Thank you, Rick. I was very close. I think I guessed 10, didn't I? So 15 when you first sign up for free, you guys, 15 free gigabytes. And then if you're like Dwight, every time you upgrade your phone, you get more gigabytes. But like I said, that 2 terabytes, I think it might be like, I can't remember for sure, but I think it's around $3 a month. Might be 10. I don't remember. It's either 3 or 10 because I paid 2 Google accounts. One of them's $3 a month. The other one's $10 a month. I don't remember which one's which. So let me go ahead and go off of here. Escape, cancel, there we go. Okay, so the next thing you can do is this button up here if you are using it with somebody else, or I guess even with yourself. Sometimes I comment on my own stuff too. I have conversations with myself. But you can make a comment. So this will show you people's comments. But to make a comment, let's say I have hello here, and then somebody else comes in, and or even myself, right, if I want to have a comment with myself or a conversation, this little thing right here will allow me to make a comment. And what it will do is it will show there's a comment in that bar by that little like yellowish, orangish like flag up in the top right part of that cell. Do you see it? Let me bring it bigger for you. There you go. Bring it over now. There you go. So yeah, see how up in the top right, it's got that little yellow circle or triangle? And that just tells you there's a comment. And then if you hover over it, it shows who left the comment, when they left it, and what the comment says. All right, so those are a few fun things. And that's available in Docs and Sheets. It's a lot of these tools are the same across all of the Google options. All right, so let's go to the next one, which is Google Slides. This one is very similar to PowerPoint. And again, if you love using PowerPoint, but you don't like the monthly or yearly fee on it, this is a great option. Again, you don't get all the bells and whistles that you get with PowerPoint, but you do get a lot of them. Okay, I still use all the Microsoft products in addition to these things. So when I'm just creating something as information or for my team, I use it here. But if it's something that is going to actually be visible by others, I like to create it in Microsoft because I'm able to use my own fonts then. But now that Rich has shared with me a way to download it, I might use this more often. Dwight, your hand is up.
Yeah, I just wanted to make a statement about the Google storage because I have opted for an upgrade in the amount of storage they allow me the last 3 times I've gotten a phone, and it might only be temporary storage because I just went into my Google account. It took me a long time to find it, but it tells me that current storage I'm using 10.68 gigabytes out of 15. So if Google Drive comes with 15 without an upgrade, I still only have 15 after 3 times of getting a new phone and partaking in when I get the phone, it gives me the option when I sign up for my Google account for an extra, I don't remember exactly how many free gigabytes of storage at that time, but right now it shows I still only have 15. So I don't know if that's only a temporary thing or what. I just want to make sure that I let everybody know that if it might not be a permanent extra storage.
Okay, good, interesting. Thanks for sharing that, Dwight. All right, so you guys in here, anybody who's ever used Photoshop, this looks very similar to a lot of the Photoshop options. And so it's as simple as you could just click over here, choose the type of theme. You could scroll down and choose, an even different theme if you want, change your text. It's pretty easy, point and click type of stuff. And then, again, you see the comments here. A lot of this is going to be the same. You can even do the slideshow here, just like you could with Microsoft PowerPoint. You could even share this. Up here is where you can start the presentation up in the top right. And so just make sure that you guys give things a name. I have a rule of thumb that I use, which is called save first and save often. So right when I open something up, I like to give it a name right away, immediately. And then every so often in Google Drive, it saves for you automatically, so you don't have to do this. But if I'm using Microsoft or something, or like my video editing software, it takes up so much space on my computer that every once in a while it just shuts itself down. So I make sure to, like, every 5 or 10 minutes, just real quick, hit Control S. It takes like a second, but it protects me for if the thing decides to crash because I'm overloading it at one time. So so that is that is Google Slides. And then if we move on to the next thing, I can't go into all of these, but I'm going to go into some of them. Google Forms is the next one. I really like Google Forms. This is the forms that we use for when we get new clients. We have them, depending on which service they sign up for, we have them fill out certain types of forms. So we have a marketing brief for anybody who signs up for social media marketing. And it basically goes over all kinds of questions of what do they want people to feel when they're at their website, what do they want people to receive, what kind of content do they want to put out, what things are important to them as a person, what are their core values as a business. It goes into so much stuff so that we can write as them. And it seems like they're the ones who have put out these posts because we've taken so much information from them that we actually can put ourselves in their shoes. And so we also, like if somebody signs up to do a website with me, there's a website form that they fill out that goes over every single page of your website. And so you could put questions in here. Over on the right hand side are some options, but we'll go through a little bit of these. So here's where you could put the name of the question, right? So I just put test usually. And then you could choose over here what type of question it is. As you can see, there's lots of different options here. And then you could choose if it's required or not. Remember when we did the email marketing where you could choose if you want somebody to require to say yes or no. And then down here, you can add a description. You could go to a section based on an answer. So on this, it could be if they say yes, they automatically go to question 15. If they say no, they go to question 20. Right? So just different things there. And then you could shuffle the option order too. I've never actually done that because a lot of the forms I create, like they're very, they go in a certain order. It's, what is the order I'm looking for? It's not, I don't even know what I'm looking for, but it's like, it goes in order, right? So it's like, before you tell me what you want on your website, let's talk about what your website's going to be for, right? What will it be used for? So it's chronological. That's the word I'm looking for. And so over here on the right, this will allow, if you press the plus here, it allows you to add another question. If you press the, I don't know what this is, paper with an arrow, it allows you to import the questions to somewhere else or from somewhere else. So like if you have them in an Excel document or sheets, you can add a title or a title and description. This could be per question. You can do that on. And then let's see, you could do, and then like different sections. So you can move things around by just grabbing it and dragging it. You can add images and videos to the questions. You can add different sections. You can add breaks in the sections. So see how this section 1 has like the purple up here, and then it comes down to section 2. Now I can copy, if I'm in a question, I can copy, duplicate it, if it's the same type of question. So there's a lot of options I can do here. Now, I also want to change the look of it because my color is not purple. So I want to come up here to the customize theme, and I want to choose a color that more resonates with what my business is. So you can choose one of these, or you can choose a custom color. You can change some font stuff here, and then you can even put a header image on the top of your on the top up there. You can upload your own image, or you could use one of the ones that are here. For efficiency, I'm just going to choose one of the ones that are there so you can see what it looks like. Okay, so I've changed the color, I've changed the header. And now when you're ready to share this with people, you can click on send, and you can either send it to people directly, or you can get the link to be able to send them the link. So you could send them a direct invite, or you could post or send the link itself. Once people start filling out this information, the responses are in this tab. And with the responses, you can turn them into a spreadsheet so they're easier to read. And then you can also view the responses one at a time, or a question at a time, or individual at a time. So different ways. I can't show you because there's none on here right now.
Oh, yeah.
But you could view them in different ways. Did someone have a question here or no?
I did, yeah. Can you? I've used Google Polls for class evaluations.
Mm-hmm.
And there's that button there where you can shorten the URL, and it cuts it down quite a bit.
Yes.
And that's sometimes easier to mail. See, it says you're right there, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, so do that, and it just becomes a little shorter to post out to people.
I had a question about saving. You said Google saves automatically. Is there a save button on any of these forms or sheets or any of these documents?
Yeah, so you can go to file save. I think there's a save, or I always just hit Control S anyway.
Yeah.
But
I don't see that, and I press Control S and nothing happens.
Okay, so so then maybe not, but like I said, it's like every 2 or 3 seconds it saves. See right up here at the top where it says all changes saved in Drive?
Yeah.
It will say that almost immediately after you make every change that you make.
Yeah, I don't see that on mine.
Oh, do you want to share your screen with me? Have you made any changes? Have you typed anything in there?
Yeah, I did test 2020 A, B, and C for the 3 different documents I've tried and the 3 different ones that I've been following with. and none of them say that they're saved. I can share my screen. I don't if I figure
Yeah,
out
let me stop my share and then I'll let you share.
where do I go to share my screen.
At the bottom center. Are you on a mobile device or a computer?
Oh, I'm on my desktop.
Okay. Did you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Working. Can you all see me?
Yes, it looks like it's starting. It hasn't fully started yet, but it looks like it's working on it. All right, there it is. Okay, so yeah, I see it right up there. All changes saved in Drive.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was because it was a smaller screen, and then I tried this one.
Well, that one you're not on anything. You have to choose one of those things.
This one.
Let's see. Yeah, right there. All changes saved in Drive.
Yeah, it wasn't there because I had it in a smaller format so I could see the other screen. So it was like this. And see there that pops up right here, and I can't see it.
Oh, that's why. Yeah, because you have it in. Yep, that's why. Because it's a smaller screen. So, but
how do I stop sharing my screen?
At the bottom or at the top, there should be a stop share.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Find it. Look at that. You learned something new again today.
All right. I know how to share my screen.
Barb, I think those changes are saved instantly now. I was actually editing a document while somebody else was in it yesterday at the same time, and we were able to write notes back and forth. I could see and she typed and she could see as I typed. So I think they're actually now instantaneously. It used to be that it would do that. It would save every couple seconds, but I think it's now.
Yeah, and you can actually see when other people are in the document with you and which tile they're on. So for instance, actually let me, I just posted something to my page right here. My friend Austin posted this. It's a Google Doc. And so I know that there are always people on this, so I'm going to use this as an example. So when I come to this screen, give it just a second to load here. Up here next to the share button, it's going to show in just a moment all the people who are viewing it right now. So all these people are currently viewing this. And if any of them have their cursor like anywhere in here, I would be able to see it by the color of what they're, let me see if I can find anybody to show you an example. I don't think anyone has their cursor, and I think they're just viewing it right now. Yeah, I can't see anybody's, but what it would do is it would have like their cursor right here, and then it would have their name, and you'd be able to see which person is on there. Does that make sense? Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Let me get rid of some of these things.
Big Brother's watching all the time.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Hide.
I have a question.
Okay.
It's a general question because I know before when I was using OneDrive, anytime I saved things to my OneDrive like account, like the little folder, it would save it in OneDrive. Is there a way to do that in Google Drive?
Yes, so you can install Google Drive, a Google Drive shortcut folder on your desktop to where when you save it in here, it also saves to like your file on your computer as well. I don't do that because that takes up a lot of space on your computer, especially as you can see, I'm using over 100 gigs. There's no way I would want to do that on my computer. But if you're not using that much, yeah, you can do that. I don't remember exactly how to do it. I would have to do some research on exactly how to do it, but it's probably just a matter of installing.
And can you upload just certain folders?
You know, I really don't know because like I said, I don't really use that feature. What I like to do though is I a lot of times create a backup on my computer of the ones that are important. So like my Fuse stuff that's for like my team and my business, I have all the same docs that are in that folder in my folder on my computer as well. So I may back them up myself many times.
On that settings pinwheel right there, it was there was a choice to get OneDrive for desktop, and that's where you would go to get the desktop. And then you can make certain documents available offline, so you can edit them while you're offline, then they'll update online. I don't remember exactly how to do that part.
Thank you, Alan.
Thank you.
So yeah, Tracy, right up here in the settings, and then you just click Get Drive for Desktop, and then give it a try. And whatever you find out, if you want to share it in the group, that way if anyone else is wondering the same question, that could help them as well.
Could I add something else to that? More of a question to that. If you're not taking them from the Google platform and saving them to your actual computer or an external hard drive, is there another way to diversify your files in case, like Ricky mentioned, Big Brother's always watching? What if they were, if anybody were to, get into the program somehow and seize any of your things? I mean, if you're using 118 gigabytes of material on Google Drive, if something was to happen that was to crash that section of the server for any reason, how's your business going to recover from that if you have important documents and videos and things like that that are part of your business in it? Is there a way to diversify your information so that you don't take a total loss?
So yes, I also use, I don't think mine, I thought it was right behind my computer right now, but it's not. So I have an external drive that, again, the things that are the most important to me, I back up regularly. Those are certain folders. I don't back up all 118 gigs of this regularly. In fact, some of that 118 gigs is like very old and just like being archived right now, or it might even be on a different flash drive or hard drive. But I believe there's also a way to back this up on another third-party system as well that is also online. I don't have a specific one in mind, but I believe that's what my brother does, because my brother is a business owner as well, and I think he backs up his drive onto a third-party like security software, and it like backs it up and keeps it there just in case. But I do mine manually, and I only do the important ones, because of course it's a matter of if you've got more time or more money or whatever.
I personally don't need it, with the size of my company, but I know there was a cleaning company I once spoke with, and they had a new external hard drive that they brought in every day that they hooked up to their computer that backed up all the information for that day, and they would take it home with them every day. So they always had those files on backup, because it also incorporated their payroll and everything, and the entire company depended on those files to get paid, to have the revenue and all of that.
Yeah, actually, when I used to work in the corporate world, when I worked for a real estate company, we did that too. I was the receptionist, and every night we backed it up on a separate device, and then took it with us for in case something happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, great question. Sorry, I didn't have the exact answer, but I'm sure that it is possible, and you probably just need to integrate different programs with it, or manually do it yourself. Okay, so the next thing I want to share with you guys, again, if we're over here in the new area, click on more, and then if you go to Google Drawings, now this one is this is the program that I like to use when I'm coming up with an email marketing system. And so the reason why is because so you can take the different shapes, like you could start somebody here, right, and you can put in here text and
people are okay to do once they find out they can't do what they want to do. My kids, they want to do some, but you told them no, but they found out something else to do, right? Let's hit calculate. So here's what this says. If you work to age 70, you would have $4 million.
I'm not sure what's happening. Is somebody not muted?
And you would be out of money.
Okay, I think that's better. Okay. All right, so you can put your a text box here that basically says maybe you start it with Facebook post, right? You put out a Facebook post, and then let's put the square around it, right? And then then you take this little line and you draw the line from here to here, and then you say that you put another shape here. You could say that this person, where'd my thing go? Remove this to the back. Order right here. Send backward. Okay. And then so now we're going to put more text in here. We're going to say shared, right? Maybe they shared your Facebook post. And then from there, here's what you do next, right? Oops. always go too fast. It doesn't catch all the things I do. So then you could, what do you do after somebody shares your post? Then you put it right here. Maybe then you invite them to your list, or just messing things all up. And you could also do the same thing. Let me come back a little bit. Same thing with your emails, right? So you could like put in here that somebody signs up for your email list, and then you could do an arrow that says when they sign up for my email list, I'm going to put them in this campaign for, for X amount of days. And then after that campaign is over, after they've received like maybe let's say 3 emails, then I move them over here to this campaign. And you just can, however it makes sense for you, you could use different shapes to mean different things. And so you could put in here the sequence that you want things to happen in. You could also put in here like your follow-up, right? Like you meet somebody, what is the next step in your follow-up? When do you add them to your phone? When do you add them to your email list? And so this is just a nice thing for sequencing that I like to use for that purpose. It is a little bit more, it takes a little more time, but when you really get used to it, it's really worth putting in the work to be able to see a visual of this stuff. Okay. Let me go now to calendar. So over in the top right, where we go to those little icons, calendar is one of the top ones typically. Google Calendar is the one I was sharing with you guys, syncs to my You Can Book Me page. And it's loading right now. Again, as you can see, my calendar is crazy. It's not just all my stuff, obviously. And over here on the left, this is all the different calendars that I have that are connected here. These ones down here are other calendars that people have invited me to of theirs. And if I add something here, it will go in my You Can Book Me. But remember, if I add it here, it's got to be this brown color, which is my regular calendar, for it to go on my You Can Book Me and block out that time. Okay. On the calendar option, you have where you could see the different dates. You could view it up in the top right, either by the week, which is my preferred way to view things, but you could also view it by the day or the month, and even the year, which I've never actually done. I could imagine that it probably looks crazy. Oh, it's just okay. It doesn't have anything on it. It's just the numbers. And then you can see a schedule. So this would be helpful if you want to know what you actually have to do for a certain day. Those of you who like to print out your schedule, you could print it out. And this is like list form here. And then you have the option of doing it in a 7-day, starting with today as the first day, rather than when I did it in a week view, it automatically puts Sunday as the first day. But if you do the next 7 days, it shows starting with today, the next 7 days. And then you could choose to show weekends and also show declined events as well, or not, do either one of them. Down here on the calendars, if you click on one of them, so like, let me find one, let me find my brother's calendar. So classic photo, see how he's got some gray ones right here? If I decide I don't want to see that, I can just click right here, click off of it, and it just removes it from what I'm viewing. It does not remove it from his calendar. It doesn't remove my access to see it. It just removes it from the view that I'm looking at right now. So if I want to see it again, I just click on his label again, and then it shows those. Now tasks, Dwight, this is where I wanted to show you over here on the right on Google Calendar. If you click tasks, this is where you could put a task list. I don't use the task list here because I use Asana, but you can choose things here, and you can add a task. Let's see, test task. Enter. And then if I click on it, I could do details. So this is where I could put it on one of my lists. I could add date and time, due dates for it. I could add subtasks just like in Asana. I don't recall if I can add it. I don't recall if I can add it to a specific calendar event though. May order, delete.
Does this save automatically, or do you actually have to save that task?
So the task itself, yes, these save automatically. On the calendar though, like if you try to put something in the calendar, you do need to hit the save button for it to save. But the tasks do save automatically when you click enter on it, right? Like if you hit enter, it goes to the next one, that one's saved. But if I was typing it here and I never went to the next spot and then I X'd out of it, then that one probably wouldn't save. Oh, it did save. That one did. So yeah, this one saves automatically. Okay, and then let's see. Anyone have questions on the calendar?
Hello.
Okay, not seeing any questions. The next thing then we're going to go to is back up here in the.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I think, can we do reoccurring on this? I'm pretty sure we can.
Yes, yes, you can do reoccurring events.
Okay.
And if you want to add a calendar, it's this little plus right here down on the left side that says add calendar. And then you can create your calendar, create a color. I like to color code things. All right, so thank you for that question, John.
Sure.
And real quick, Barb, which calendar do you have set up with all of your holidays in there?
The Chick-a-Day right here.
Okay.
Or Check-a-Day. So checkaday.com is the one that I use for the holidays. And there's also a mobile app for that one too. And it gives really cool things. So like what day are we on right now? The 14th. So look, International Be Kind Day. If I click on that, it gives me a link here that I can go to, which always gives me information about this day. It's not just a like, look, International Be Kind to Lawyers Day. My husband's a lawyer. I should do something kind for him. But look at how cool this is. It gives you information so that you're not the one who's just posting, oh, it's Be Kind to Lawyers Day. You can actually put information about this, how to observe it, right? There's just different fun things I like to do. In fact, what I'll do is I'll take the copy of this. While we're at it, I'll just show you how I sometimes do this. And I'll just come up here and say paste and let it do its thing. Today is Be Kind to Lawyers Day, comma. So everyone should go tell my husband how great he is. All right, so look, that's a fun thing. Perfect, and then we'll post that. All right, so let's move back on to Google Calendar. We were just moving out of Calendar. So up here in the top right where the little checker stuff is, if you click there, we're going, on this one, we're gonna cover 2 of them. So I made a top 10 list, but I combined 2 of them together because I wanted to fit both of them in here. And they're both conversation tools. So that's why I grouped them together. So Duo, Google Duo is a way that you can, you know how Apple has FaceTime? Well, for Google, it's Duo. So you can use this on your phone or your computer, but you can call people who are already in your contacts, or you can add a number to be able to call somebody who's not in your contacts. And so all of these are, you could just click on somebody here. Let's see. Let me see. I think I just put Rick in my phone today when he called me, so it's not updated yet, but let's see. Phyllis. And also, I think everybody who you use here needs to be an Android user. I'm not seeing some of you guys here. Oh, because these are the people who are active on Duo, right? Who are active on Duo. They have a Duo. Okay, so Duo is one of the things that you can use again on your phone or your computer, and it allows you to like FaceTime with other people who have Android devices. I do believe Google Duo is also you can also use it on an iPhone. You just have to install it to your phone. Phyllis, yes.
Yeah, I had a question back to calendar. A lot of times when I enter an appointment on my iPhone, like if I'm at a doctor's office and I'm entering the appointment, then once I enter, it lists it twice. It's almost like it's in 2 different calendars.
So that you're using.
But then when laptop, it only shows it once.
Do you use an iPhone?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes iPhones mix things up with Google. I don't know if it's Apple or Google that doesn't integrate well with the other one, but they do sometimes do funky things when you're using an Apple to use Google.
Because it will, especially reoccurring appointments like exercise classes, it'll show them 2 different lines, 2 different colors, but for the same thing.
That is interesting. Now, is it something that somebody else invited you to and then you also put it on your calendar?
That could be.
Because that's an instance too. So for instance, like my brother, when he invites me to jobs, like none of these jobs I'm working, because obviously none of them are in-person jobs, but normally when he invites me to a job, let me see if I can find an example for you. It shows his invite, like his job, but it also shows my invite right here. So this one right here, it's kind of shaded out because it's in the past, but see this one right here is his calendar. And this
So if it says,
mine.
yes, exactly right. It'll say, add to calendar, and you do, like for a meeting. But then I'm always having to go back in and delete half of my appointments because they're duplicates.
Yeah, well, here's the good news too. Google has started making it to where if you get an email that said, like if it just says in the email, I'm looking forward to our appointment on Friday at 2 p.m., it just adds that to your calendar for you. And so you add it, and if you also add it and Google's automatically added it, then yes, you'll have 2 of them in there.
Then that must be what's happening.
Yeah. All right.
It always duplicates the exercise ones because they don't want us to forget.
Sure do it.
You delete the first one, you get the second one.
That's funny.
Come on now.
Okay, thank you, Rick.
So as we continue scrolling down, we're up in the...
Can I ask a question on the Duo?
Yes.
So, like, if you have someone who has an Android phone, can I do the Google Duo on my computer with my camera on my computer, and then they have their Android phone?
Yep. See, so if I click on someone, I could click video call, and they can answer it on their phone or their computer.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you.
You
Never knew that.
Yeah, that's pretty neat. And actually, this is what my daughter, Haley, she uses this to FaceTime her friend who has an iPhone. So because Haley does not have an iPhone, but her friend does. So the only way they could FaceTime is through Google Duo.
Oh, okay, because I was wondering, because everybody always asks about FaceTime, and I'm like, I can't FaceTime, I don't have an Apple.
Yeah, right. So next time you can invite them to Google Duo because Apple can download Google Duo, but us Android users cannot download FaceTime.
Okay.
So that's an option. All right, let's move on to the next one. Up here in the top corner again, where these little checkered dots are, click there. This next one is very similar to Google Duo, but it's also similar to Zoom. This is where you can have a private one-on-one video call with someone or a group call with a number of people. It's also like you could text messages. You can see I have conversations here, but so again, video call, phone call, or message. And this is just a single person. But over here on the left, I can come to my contacts and I can choose more than one person if I want. See down here, I can go to, let's see, invites, right? And I can invite, let's see, invite. Where's my thingy majiggy? So that is, I don't want to actually call. But so on Google Hangouts, you're able to use, let's see if I do, Nick, let's see, Johnny, comma. Okay, this is looking very different. Oh, right here, I see it now. Right here at the top. I'm sorry, I was doing a regular one, but at the top, there's the new group. If I click on that, then I can start typing different people. So I could choose Johnny. I can choose, I don't know who all I have in here. Deborah, that's my sister. So I could choose a bunch of different people. And then I can click check. And then it will invite all these people to a call with me, which they're all going to be like, what the heck is she doing? So let me go ahead and accept. None of them even know each other either. All those people I just invited, they'd be so confused. All right, so questions? All right.
But I do have a comment on Google Hangouts. That was the first, my first attempt at FaceTiming my children was Google Hangouts, probably 2.5 years ago. And we've totally aborted using Google Hangouts altogether when we started using Duo. Duo works a lot better for us, and I find it to be less glitchy, I guess. I don't know if it's their location or mine, but yeah, I didn't realize how much you could do on Google Hangouts because we just never really used it for anything except video calls, and I moved on to another platform.
Okay, neat. Yeah. So you technically, yeah, you could have group calls or singular calls. And I do remember that Google Hangouts was not very stable even, before, and which is why I don't use it very much myself either, but it is an option to use. So thank you for sharing that, Dwight. The next thing I want to show you guys up here in the little checkered dots again is this fun thing here called Translate, Google Translate. You guys, I had so much fun with this one time. Like I always want to talk to people who don't speak my language. And so I could type in, hi, how are you? And I could say I want it to be in Spanish. Now I'll tell you, this isn't always 100% accurate. And sometimes I get messages from when I used to do where you sponsor a kid from another country, and I'd get letters from them and I translate it in this, and it was really cool. But so what you could do then after you translate it is you can copy it and paste it somewhere. So you guys, this is a way that you can take your business and make it bilingual, right? Like you can all offer services to somebody who speaks a different language if you want. It might take a little bit of extra work for you to go back and forth, because if they send you a message, then you have to come back here and translate it, which I do. I used to have a friend who spoke a lot of German, just for fun, because that was his, that's where he grew up, and he was English was his first primary, but he spoke German a lot, and so he would always mess with me on it, and that's when I found Translate, because I was like, I'm going to learn what he's saying, and I did, and so it was really cool to just be able to translate your language and that of other people.
So whatever, if somebody sent you a message, all you have to do is just copy it, put it there, and then it's going to tell you exactly what they said?
Yep. Now, again,
That's cool.
Not always 100% accurate. It's pretty close. There were
cool.
times when, for instance, that German friend of mine, when I'd send something back and he'd laugh at it and be like, that was close. And I was like, how do you actually say it? And then I'd learn a little bit. And same thing with my business partner, Mars. He's Hispanic, and so he speaks Spanish very fluently. And so I used to always send him things in Spanish from this. And he actually for a long time thought I spoke Spanish, because I would text him stuff in Spanish, and then I finally told him, no, I know how to say hola and adios. But yeah, so it's a lot of fun. You can have fun with people this way, and so you may or may not use it for your business, but you might want to use it just for fun, because I had fun with it, a lot of fun. All right, and then the next thing, and I'm only gonna, actually, I'm going to touch on this one thing just for a moment, but we're not going to train on it, because there's another day when we train on it, which is Google My Biz. And it looks like I need to go to my more apps for that. It's not in my little quick access. So if I scroll down all this, should be right around. Should be right in this area, yeah, right there. So Google My Biz is one of the training dates. It's towards the end. It's like day 27 or 28 or something like that. So we're going to talk on it, but this is where you get found in Google easier. And I actually just had a meeting with a guy this morning on Zoom, and what his company does is they help you get reviews on your different platforms. And he shared with me the importance of Google reviews. You guys, it was pretty enlightening for me to know. It was something that, like, I know that reviews are, they drive sales and they're important. I didn't realize how important they were in the search engines until my conversation with him this morning. If anybody would like, I mean, he did a search on My Business for free, just like what I'm doing with the social media presence, the online presence, right? He did that for free, and he offers that for free. Of course, he has an offer at the end of his free strategy thing. But if anybody's interested in hearing what he has to say, just let me know and I'll connect you to him. But it was pretty interesting to see that my competitors in this area, we're like all on the same level as far as that we our Google search, right? Like if people search for certain things, like none of us are really above the others. And he gave me tips to be able to take a pretty big step above my competitors with just super simple ideas. And so we'll touch on that a little more in a few days. But then the last one, number 10, that I want to share with you guys, let's go back up to, hold on, my phone is acting wacky. All right, let's go, let me close some of these things out. It's probably what it wants. It's like, Barbara, you're doing too much. All right, so if we come over here, and the last one I want to show you is Google Alerts, which, well, I should have just stayed in this area. Pull it all the way down to the bottom. Now, a lot of these you can do yourself, like in the bar. Like I could just type in alerts.google.com, but I'm going to put it here for you. And so what alerts are, this will give you an email whenever somebody, anywhere on the internet, Google will search different things so that you can find out what people are saying about different topics. I always tell people you should always have an alert on your name and your company name. You can have alerts on other things too, like conference. When I'm looking for speaking gigs, I'll also add the word conference in here. You could also do this as a hashtag, right? You could create the alert, and then you can decide how often you want this alert to come to you. Right? Do you want it once a day? Do you want it from like whatever sources come up, or do you just want videos, or what language, what region? How many do you want? Do you want all the results or just the best results? And then where do you want it to be delivered to? So for instance, on mine, you'll notice, where did my thingy-majiggy go? Here we go. You'll notice a difference here. See, so Barbara Carr is in quotes. Do you see how that's in quotes? That's because there's a lot of people with the first name Barbara. There's a lot of people with the last name. I don't want it to bring up everybody who has either one of those. So I put it in quotes, which tells Google that I only want you to alert me if somebody actually says Barbara Carr. Right? And then Fuse Business Training does not have quotes, as you can see, because it's okay if send me queries on things that are just for business, or just people saying training, or just people saying Fuse. Any of those are okay with me, or any combination of it. And so that's why that does not have quotes. That's the difference between having quotes and not quotes. And Google will email you to notify you that, hey, somebody's talking about this topic that you're interested in. You could also say marketing. You could do a thing for anything marketing related. Oops, I didn't finish that. And so anytime the word marketing is used in something, it will show up here. Obviously, marketing is going to be a very big thing, but here's some of the samples that you would be getting, just so that you can see if this is something you want to subscribe to. If you're trying to learn more about something like Google, for instance, it can give you different things on Google. And so these are just different alerts that you get right in your email, so that you don't always have to be wondering what people are saying about you or your company or other things that you're interested in. Google sends it right directly to you.
I gotta go, everybody. Have a good night.
Bye, Dwight. All right, anybody have any questions on any of those things we covered? Is anybody currently using any of these things that you want to share with the group, some of your experiences? Go ahead, John.
What I would do, I use it two ways when I teach. I do at the end of the class, I add a Google poll for all the students to fill out, specifically to what we did. It's kind of like a workshop. I always treated classes like a workshop because they're 4-hour classes for doctoral students. So they gave me feedback on what worked, what didn't work. Then I could make adjustments next time we met. Then I didn't really like the university end of the year one, so I made my own, and I used the Google polls to do it. Was you to, you know, I got them when they started the program, so I'm their very first class, and so I could, you know, they're pretty nervous folks. It was really a good kind of figure out where they were at, so I could plot class to class, but also a lot of times I'd pick them up for the second class. So then I kind of knew what they wanted. I could kind of poll them on what they'd like to do. And I had a lot of freedom on that. So it was very helpful.
Thank you for sharing that, John. Just so everybody knows, when John refers to Google Polls, he is referring to Google Forms. There is an option in the form to do a poll. So if you're like, where's the Google poll? It is Google Forms. Yeah, and John,
I'm sorry.
No, you actually just make it more advanced. You make it into a poll, which is great. Thank you for sharing that, John. Anybody else have any feedback or they want to share about their experiences using any of this?
I use the Google Drive all the time to share videos that maybe I do that I don't put in YouTube. I put them in my Google Drive, and then I just share the link on Facebook. Because that way you can share it, it's not too big. So anytime I'm sharing things with my team and we've recorded, maybe we did a training, we recorded the video, then I will post it or put it into the Google Drive, and then I will do the shareable link. So then everyone can open it. So it's just a quick way if you're not going to use YouTube.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Tracy.
Yeah.
Tracy, did you see my live today? I mentioned you in it. You'll have to go.
No, I didn't.
You're going to be so proud of me.
Okay, good. I'll have to watch it then. Where was it at? Was it
on my Barbara Carr profile?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. And so just to kind of piggyback off what Tracy was saying, when I coach with clients, I actually put our Zoom videos in their folder on Google Drive, as well as I have them put their worksheets in there of things that they're working on. Sometimes I'm like, they'll explain something to me and I'll say, show me it, put it in Google Drive. And so that's a shared file for just me and the client. Well, and some of them, the team has access as well. But it's really nice to just be able to have one place where you could drop things rather than emailing each other back and forth a lot.
Yeah. One other quick thought on this, because we shared all the dissertation stuff goes on. I don't do dissertations, but all the dissertation things go on Google Drive. Now that's important because we had a student in her very last semester, 3 weeks before she was going to defend, but not completely written, or present, and she had a stroke. So we were able to go into her Google Drive, not me, but the professor teaching the class, and finish up her dissertation so that we could at least get her a degree.
Oh, wow, that's interesting. Good.
Yeah, and we could do it because of Google Drive, because she shared it with her professor, obviously.
Very good. So yeah, see that's another great thing, especially right now during Corona, like right now we do a lot of things with each other.
Absolutely.
Right, so let me get onto your homework, you guys, because it's after 3. The first thing, and it's already posted in the group, the first thing, step number 1, just decide that Google is awesome. That's an easy step. Step number 2 is to choose which apps make the most sense for you to start with now. You don't have to use all 10 of those apps or all 50 plus of them that Google offers. Just choose which ones make the most sense to you right now and start using those. And then I actually put for step number 3, use Google to drive your business forward. And that was a little fun because of Google Drive. Sometimes I'm funny.
I have 2 little tidbits if you want some extra things. I use Google Sheets to keep all of my passwords and sign-ons so that they're in somewhere that I can keep the track of them, but I can also share that with my assistant or whoever's doing social media. I can share those links and passwords and they can access my accounts through that. Also, if something ever happens to me, my family knows that they can access my phone and get all of my bank account information is available and secured in that location. Hopefully Google never gets robbed, if they do, I think we're all in trouble. But the second thing is if I'm doing multiple showings with somebody, I will set up Google Meetings and invite them to each of the Google Meetings, and each showing will be separate. They can download an app called Waze, which is a GPS app, and they already have the address put into the meeting, and when they open the GPS app, it'll tell them, automatically give them directions to where they need to go.
Yeah, thank you, Alan. You know what I love about Waze also is that it like shows you when there's like what's coming up on your route, like if there's a cop up there or if there's an accident up there. Like it's really specific, even more than I think regular Google Maps.
What I love about it is if you go to planned drives, it takes things off your calendar. If when you enter an appointment in your Google Calendar, if you put the address in, it'll automatically go to your Waze. You don't have to re-enter it.
Oh, nice.
Planned drive. You just click it, it tells you where you need to be and what time you need to leave.
Yeah, neat.
So that's my.
Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you very much. All right, does anybody else have any comments, questions, or concerns before we jump off of here?
Great job.
Thanks, Barbara.
You are welcome. I will see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow we are going to teach on Trello, which you guys, some of you started asking about, and I know Tracy uses Trello a lot. In fact, I might have her throw some feedback in there if she's on the call. I only use Trello a little bit, but you guys seemed like you needed to learn it, so I threw it in here for you. And so yeah, make sure you're on here, and it'd be a whole new way to be able to organize more stuff. You guys are getting all organized here.
Okay.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.